If you want to fully and permanently eliminate binge eating, one of the most important skills for you to learn is how to navigate the gray areas of life. And unfortunately, most of the dieting systems out there, whether it's counting calories or specific diets with rigid rules that you have to follow, don't teach this and actually breed perfectionism, whereby now people have this all or nothing mentality. They know how to be perfect and how to remain on track when everything is perfectly within their control and they are in their regular routine. But as soon as there's anything that's out of their control, or it's one of those random deviations like Christmas, holidays, birthdays, weddings, social events, work functions, now they have no idea how to remain on track in those moments, whether to allow themselves any additional flexibility or not, and if they do allow themselves some additional flexibility, how to do that. They have no idea where the line lies between this is an appropriate amount of additional flexibility and this is just overindulging and making excuses. And because they don't know where that line lies, they don't have any trust in their own decision making, and they are more and more reliant on numbers, rules, or somebody else to tell them what to do in every eventuality of life. So once again, this is one of the most important things to start teaching people, is how to start learning to think for themselves and make their own decisions based on their own values and their own chosen lifestyle. It's vital that we teach people how to meet all of their values. You can meet your health, fitness, and well-being values and your physical goals for your body and your social and recreational and lifestyle values at the same time. But the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by establishing a pattern that you follow consistently long-term throughout the year, but then there are going to be these random or periodic deviations from that baseline, such as these special events. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, first of all, you have to start making these decisions from a big picture perspective, because is it appropriate for you to have more flexibility at the wedding this weekend? The answer is it depends. And the way that you answer that question is you zoom out and you look at your timeline based on maybe a 6 or an 8 week timeline, and you look at your behavior over the last few weeks and you perhaps think to yourself, yep, I've been consistent with following my baseline. And you look at your diary for the next few weeks and you think, yep, there's nothing significant on the horizon. So actually, yeah, I'm going to allow myself some additional flexibility on the weekend, and it's not going to make the slightest bit of difference based on the bigger scale. And then once you're at the event, then it's important that you know the difference between what is appropriate and what is overindulging. And so that's going to take some experience for you to learn, because there's inevitably, whilst you're learning this, there's going to be this gray area. What we want to be able to do is always be able to answer the question, is this appropriate? Is this additional piece of food I'm about to put in my mouth, is that appropriate based on this big picture and based on all of my values, my health and well-being values, my social, recreational, lifestyle values, based on all of those values and that big picture all together as one? Is this appropriate? And it's either a yes or it's a no. Now, there are gonna, of course, be some occasions when it's, well, I'm not quite sure. Is 1 additional chocolate okay? Is 2 additional chocolates okay? But then, of course, if you keep eating through that grey area, there's going to eventually come this point where it's very clear that's a definite no, that's definitely overindulging. Now, whilst you are learning this, most of you are going to have to very slightly step into the overindulging zone before you actually become consciously aware that that's what you've done, and you can realize where the line does lie. That's part of learning. But of course, if you've never had a coach to teach you how to regulate your mindset, how to regulate your emotions in this kind of environment, then what do most binge eaters do? For fuck's sake, I've done it again, I've overindulged, what's wrong with me? Well, it's a bad day anyway, so I might as well just have a blowout. So, of course, one of the patterns that consistently keeps people stuck is categorizing time as blocks of time, whereby it's either a good day or it's a bad day, and that's it. And so now there's absolutely no difference between 100 extra calories and 5,000. So it's vital that the moment that you spot that, you don't start beating yourself up about it. Every single moment, every second of the day is a brand new moment. A brand new moment to make a new choice, a new decision, to have a new distinction, to have a new breakthrough, to change your behavior and choose a new behavior in a new way. Every moment of the day is a brand new moment. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. You don't have to start again on Monday. You can make an immediate new choice right now. So that's the point at which you intervene, is as soon as you do become consciously aware that it's a definite no, great. Now I'm going to change my behavior for the rest of the evening. But as you gather more and more and more experience of this kind of event, these gray areas are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as you start to learn the difference and know the difference between, yes, this absolutely is appropriate, versus no, this is just overindulging and making excuses. This is how you start to learn to think for yourself and trust your own instincts and trust your own decision-making process. But you have to practice thinking for yourself, and you're never going to do that if you are always addicted to relying on numbers, rules, or somebody else to do the thinking for you. But if you do it this way now, your confidence is going to start increasing more and more and more. You're going to start getting much more clarity on what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what enables you to continue to get consistent results with your body, whilst also loving your social life at the same time.